We've learned about three different ways to measure the middle or the center of our data: the mean, the median, and the mode. Now we're going to return a little bit to the histogram shapes that we talked about back in lesson 5, and we're going to talk about how the mean, the median, and the mode all react to the skewness of a graph. So the mode, as we discussed back in lesson 5, as well as in our mode video, the mode is always the peak of the graph. Remember, the mode is the most frequently occurring value. And if the graph is symmetrical, that means that the mean, the median, and the mode are all going to be the same. However, if we have any outliers, those outliers are going to really change the mean, whereas the mode stays unaffected. Look at the graph on the bottom right. You can see that some extra data was added onto the right tail, and thus the mean was pulled to the right, meaning the graph is now skewed to the right. The median was also pulled to the right, but not as much as the mean was. So the mean is hugely affected by outliers. The median is affected by outliers, but not as much. The mode is generally unaffected by outliers. Okay, so those are that's the relationship of all three of those two: outliers and skewed graphs. And that's why we would call this graph a right skewed graph, because the mean is pulled that way. And I'm actually going to explain that a little more here in this slide. So skewness is how much our graph is not symmetric. I guess that's the way to put it. Skewness measures how much the mean and the median are pushed off of the center. So when you have outliers on the right, so in other words, your right tail extends, it's going to shift your mean and your median to the right. So that would be a right skewed data set. If you have outliers on the left side, however, then that's going to shift the mean and the median to the left. Therefore, this would be a left skewed distribution. Whereas one that's perfectly symmetric, the mean, the median, and the mode are all going to be the same. That would just be a symmetric or a normal distribution.